is almost always framed as a disruptive force, something that replaces human judgment, automates your expertise, accelerates decisions beyond our control. That framing dominates today's boardrooms, media coverage, and vendor presentations. But it misses what makes AI genuinely unsettling. The discomfort most organizations and individuals feel around AI is not really about technology or the fear of being replaced by it. It is about the exposure that results. The very core of human thinking, human faults, human biases, and human interpretation. All of this brought to the forefront, exposed, and made visible for everyone to see. AI does not just work differently than humans. It reflects how we've always worked, only more clearly, more consistently, and without the social camouflage humans rely on to soften or hide uncomfortable truths. Let me ground this in some research. A 2025 study from the University of Washington tested 528 participants across 16 different job roles. What they found was striking. When AI systems exhibited racial bias in hiring recommendations, human decision makers mirrored those biases, selecting candidates in line with the AI's recommendations. But without AI input, choices were unbiased, or at least they were unbiased in the eyes of humans. The lead researcher put it quite plainly. Unless bias is obvious, people are perfectly willing to accept the AI's biases as their own. Now think about what that means. Humans feed AI the information on which it bases its decisions. The AI learned human patterns. Then humans absorbed those reflected patterns and acted on them, often unconsciously. This is not a story about flawed machines. This is a story about human patterns being made visible at a scale and a speed we were never prepared for, or perhaps never really wanted to admit and reveal. A comprehensive 2025 review published in the Frontiers of Big Data mapped the entire landscape of algorithmic bias and categorized it into 4 different families. The first, historical and representational bias, which reflects the values embedded in the training data itself. Second, selection and measurement bias, which reflects what organizations choose to measure and also what they choose to ignore. The third, algorithmic and optimization bias, which reflects the objectives humans define for the system. And finally, feedback and emergent bias, which reflects the reinforcing loops between human behavior and machine output. Every single category traces back to human decisions, human curated data, and human input. Not one of them is purely technical, although we would like to think that is the case.